Well, good morning. It's good to be with you on this Friday morning. Hope you're well. Have had a great week. It's going to be a great weekend. College football starts tomorrow, so look out. We'll be going down to Hattiesburg tomorrow morning to watch the Fighting Clarinets march as Southern and State play. So we'll be there. If you're on Hattiesburg, holler at us. We'll be somewhere around Spirit Park, and then in the stands, waiting for the halftime show. So it's gonna be. I hope whoever you're rooting for tomorrow wins, and it's a good day for you. Today we're going to be reading Luke chapter 9. We're going to read verses 18 through 27. We're actually going to combine two stories together because I think they do a great job of bookending something important for us to see. So let's read this. This is Luke chapter 9, 18 through 27. Once when Jesus was praying alone with only the disciples near him, he asked them, "Who do the crowd say that I am?" They answered, "John the Baptist, but others Elijah, still others, one of the ancient prophets has arisen." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Peter answered, "The Messiah of God." He sternly ordered and commanded them not to tell anyone, saying, "The Son of Man must undergo great suffering and be rejected by the elders, chief priests, and scribes, and be killed, and on the third day be raised." Then he said to them all, "If any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will save it. What does it profit them to gain the whole world but lose or forfeit themselves? Those who are ashamed of me and my words, of them the Son of Man will be ashamed when he comes in glory, the glory of the Father and of the holy angels. But I tell you, there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the kingdom of God." So I wanted to include these two stories together because they fit so well together, and they show the kind of show the bookends of Jesus' experience. So first, we see Jesus with the disciples, and Matthew goes into this a lot more. Gives the location of Caesarea Philippi. It includes a lot more details. It's interesting to me, like I said, reading through Luke, comparing him to Matthew. Luke doesn't give as many details as Matthew does. Luke is a lot more. Luke is kind of just the facts, man. Like he has a lot more parables, which is interesting. But then in the accounts he gives, he's just telling you the facts. And so we see here Peter um, confessing Jesus as Lord. He says, "Who do you say that I am?" Peter answered, "The Messiah of God." Peter confesses Jesus as Messiah. Of course, in Matthew's Gospels where he said, "This is revealed to you not by man, by the Spirit of God." You shall be called Peter, and upon this rock I'll build my church. So we see that, but here we just see the main part of it. Peter says, "You're the Messiah. You're the Messiah." But then Jesus says, "Don't tell anybody." And then we see Jesus telling them what the Messiah must go through. He says, "Okay, the Son of Man. Son of Man is a reference to Daniel. In Daniel's gospel, it talks of the Son of Man coming to judge. So when Jesus calls himself the Son of Man, he's referencing an apocalyptic type of thing. He's really referencing his cosmic messiahship when he talks of the Son of Man. Son of Man is a term that always is referring to that. He said, "When the Son of Man must suffer, he must be rejected, he must be killed, and on the third day be raised." And then he says, and then he doesn't. So he's saying, "I'm the Messiah." Yes, but to be Messiah means these things here, and that would be a hard enough word to hear if that's all he was saying. But then he continues, "If anyone to follow me, they also must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow me. Whoever wants to save their life will lose it. Whoever loses their life for my sake will save it. What's it profit you to gain the whole world, lose your soul?" So Jesus is saying, not just that I will suffer and die, but if you're going to follow me, if you're going to be my disciple, if you're going to follow my path, then you also will suffer. You also must die to yourself. You also must be willing to sacrifice all things to me. So Jesus is showing us the path that he was to walk. and the path that we likewise are called to walk. Son of man must undergo great suffering. If you want to be my follower, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. So, following Jesus is hard. We were talking in Bible study Wednesday night about sanctification in relationships. And being in relationships with others is hard. It's a sanctifying thing. It's a means of grace to us because to be in a relationship with people requires, in some ways, dying to yourself. To be in a relationship means you have to sometimes say you're sorry. You have to be in a relationship means you have to humble yourself. It means you have to put others ahead of yourself. It means if you're going to have a real relationship, particularly a relationship of a marriage or a deep friendship, you have to value that person as much as you value yourself. We have to die to ourselves in that way. And that's a real challenge. But when we lose our life in that way, when we lay down our life in that way, we actually then find something worth having. We actually gain life. And friends, that's the path of Jesus. That's the path of Jesus. To lay down your life for something beautiful, something good, and for others, knowing that it might cost you something. You're no longer in charge of your life. You're no longer the one that gets to call all the shots about your life. You're no longer the one that gets to determine everything. And we have to love folks we don't always like. As the prayer of St. Francis says, it's in the giving that we receive and it's the pardoning that we are pardoned and in dying we are born again to new life. And ultimately that is faith, friends. We have to lay down our life to live. We can't live truly if we're in charge of our lives. We can't always it's I heard trite saying is God's your co-pilot, you're in the wrong seat. Um, we have to die to self. And that may sound painful. There's a some of you may know the Narnia books by Lewis, C.S. Lewis. My favorite one is Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I mean I love Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe because everybody does. But Voyage of the Dawn Treader has this beautiful image of a little boy named Eustace who becomes a dragon. And eventually Aslan, who's the Christ figure, he's a lion, he takes his claws and tears away the scales that Eustace has upon him. And as he tears away the scales, it hurts, but it feels good because he's free. And as Aslan rips away the scales, Eustace is still there underneath. Following Jesus may rip away our scales, friends. It may put to death the false idols in our life, and it may put together the false dreams and the things that we think are so important and that define us, and the things that in our communities and our culture that we think are so important. We may have to put those things to death. But when we put them to death, we find life. We find life worth living for, life worth having, and a life that's beautiful. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? Is what Jesus says today. So Peter confesses Jesus as Messiah, and Jesus says, "You're right." Now, let me tell you what this way looks like. The way of Jesus is a path that leads to life. But before we can experience the life that comes, we have to first die to self. That's what the way of Jesus is. So, God bless you, friends. Thanks for being with us in our journey together through Luke. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll pick up Monday morning. See ya.